Good morning, Jemmet. How are ya? And happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, time to start some Godot projects. I'm gonna be building out the test player for the character. Looking forward to doing this. It'll go pretty well. Gotta check on some stuff here. Yeah, Firefox is black. There we go. What else? Godot probably hasn't even started. Alright, got that and that. Let's see. My other computer's just updating. Alright, got some jokes for you. Actually, coming from my wife. Um, these are kind of Halloween-esque. What does a witch call her garage? The broom closet. Another one. What kind of mistakes do ghosts make? Boo-boos. Wah, wah. Alright, get my chair set up. I got my chair. What else? Warm up my hands real quick. It is 56 degrees, 57 now in here. Nice warm. Surprised how well this building holds its heat, but even still, it gets chilly. All right. Lower the desk just a touch. There we go. So, today I'm going to work on the biome tool. You might remember from the past we were looking at this stuff, but we're not going to call it the biome tool anymore. We are going to call it the tool. So we're going to come back over to probably in here. So we've got core. Core is actually shared. Let's create some sort of I guess starting scene. Not like a splash menu, but just a menu scene. Create a new folder. Scenes. Is biome? Maybe we should move this. Move to scenes. Uh-oh, little pinwheel. You can do it, Godot. Come on, you can do it. Alright. Godot couldn't do it. Take two. Alright. Tool. Looks like it might have moved it. Something. Okay, well, that's good. We're going to create a new folder, menu. There's a new scene in there. Not going to be creative here. Menu. Alright, this is going to be a 2D scene. Alright. Let's toss child node on there. Do we want like some sort of canvas? Wow, there's so much in here. We want these little green ones here. We could do like a grid container. You choose what you want to go into. Have a whole bunch of buttons. It does not have to be fancy. It just has to work. This is kind of a dev tool. Dev art, whatever. We're going to go with the grid. Layout full. Oh well, that's not quite it. Interesting, I thought that this would have done that. Huh. Well, maybe it's because this one isn't full. That is so strange. Where did... Alright, well, regardless. What is Zencron? What came out of yesterday's Cloudflare WASM experiments? Oh, you're on the terminal. My apologies. That should have transitioned. I wonder if it gets confused when like things crash. Maybe. Morning, Ecton Dev. How are you? So, yes, yesterday's experiments will continue to be little things that we will see in here. I was not able to get the binary or the WASM file to be smaller than, I think it was 4K. Yeah, here, because you can gzip WASM files as well. So all in all, the empty do nothing, um, it weighs in at 4 kilobytes, which is really not bad. Really not bad. I had even gotten a little bit of, let's see, I was looking at Twiggy, which shows you the weight of things. You can see in here, I built this with debugging enabled, so you could get some of the names. See, there's a lot. You leave debug on. This keeps going and going. Past my buffer. By today's standards, yeah, 4 kilobytes isn't so bad. I mean, that's, let's see, our app at work weighs in at 4 megabytes, so it's a few orders of magnitude better. But it does infinitely less. So I do think that I'm going to be playing around a little bit more with WASM and with Cloudflare, etc. But I don't want to get too far away from doing the game stuff because I still want to get it done. I like the idea of having some sort of edge-based, like I like the idea of running code on their edge network. I think that's really cool, and I think that it's also possible to get it so that it's always running within the allotted time. Maybe even better. So if it takes just, like 5 milliseconds, whatever it is, to collect everything it needs and to generate some HTML from their edge network, that would be fantastic. I don't think that I want to spend like a month building that out on stream though. It could be a lot of fun though. So it will probably be a very frequent sort of guest. See this thing here. I can lock the selected object. Why are my anchors? Is this because here? Let's add another child here. Add child node. Add a panel. For the grid in the panel. Actually, this menu here could just be this one. Or delete this one. Let's do that. Let's change this one into a panel. Change type. Alright, so panel container. Panel container actually sounds kind of neat. I don't know what the differences between these. Big background for control children. And a panel contain, like what is this? Okay, let's just try it. Alright, so if we have that, can we then say we want this full? Yes, okay, and it gives us the background. Nice, and this one, let's delete that. So we still have the background, great. And this one, grid container, now we can start to add children. All right. It's our menu. Going to have some buttons. Add a button. Just a button. We'll call this biome. You know what, let's also add child node. There's going to be a VBox container. Create. Okay. It's going to be inside of there. Buttons, biome. Okay. Now inside of here, we want also a label. Let's give it a title. We'll call it tools. We'll have to increase the font size, etc. on that quite a bit. Alignment center. There we go. Look at that. It says tools. Itty bitty little text. Oh, yeah, that's not it. Guess we could go with a new. I thought we had a theme. Did we not have a theme? It's in core. Guess we do have this theme here. There. It'll work for now. TechBin, good morning. Is that decimal binary? What do we got going there? How are you? All right, now we got a button biome. These are going to be our tools. I'm going to make them fairly large. Material description, pause script. No, where is it? Where is it? Size flags? No. Oh, it's under rectangle. Okay. Two. Biome. What kind of game are we making? Oh, good question. We are making a little bit of a MMO style game. Oh, the audio is too low. Is it my audio or the background audio? I mean, sometimes I do drop my own volume, my audio, my voice volume. I see. Is it still too low? I think I was starting to just wander mentally. Oh, you do have it cranked up to 100%. Interesting. Okay. No, this is good feedback. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna try to change this just a touch. Okay, is that any better? Let's see, is my mic set? Okay. Testing, testing. Okay, now just for my own reference, in case I come back to this in the future, my dB is set to minus 4.6 decibels on the mic. And I appreciate that sort of feedback because, of course, I can't quite hear myself. It would be quite distracting. There we go. Okay. Children of a container get their position and size determined by the parent. Hmm. Is that another button? Button? Oh, I see. That's what it's saying. Button character. And just duplicate that a bunch. Just want to see. Interesting. That's not what I wanted. I want this buttons to be more grid-like. Columns 1, 2, 3. Let's say we do 4 columns. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. Okay. Let's give this some text. All right. So if we come in here, you can either select the biome tool or you can select the character tool, which I think I call entities, don't I? Need to turn this other thing off. Just a moment. And another machine boot up. Let's put that one to sleep. Okay. I mean, I kind of want to have this be entities, but I don't know. Biome entity, what other tools are we going to have? Yeah, I don't know. But again, this does not have to be super pretty at this point. This is just a menu screen for the tools. All right, so there we go. We'll give that a save. So if you click on this, that, and we should probably have this be the first element that's loaded. Okay, project settings, auto load. We're also going to have, oh, that's right, you have to do it this way. or native. I do not like that layout there. This one is so much better. Scene manager. Alright, there's scene manager. And then we can have a couple scripts on here. Go ahead and add those scripts. So that's on the left here. Add script. Browse. Native script. Browse. Native. There we go. So this script here, next scene, when you click on this, should be, which one was that? That's biome. We're going to biome. Select the biome tool. There we go. This one we haven't created yet, but it should have the same script attached. Okay, let's create a scene for that. Give that a save. Hey, Togglebit. Happy Friday. Hope your Friday is going well. Yeah, we are trying to get back into Godot and Rust at the moment. Yesterday I was playing around with Wasm and Cloudflare. Which it's actually pretty cool. Oh, I forgot to put my old person glasses on. No, I shouldn't call them old person glasses. Hey. Oh, there. I am cleaning them. Apparently I got some sort of... There we go. Yeah, that's better. Okay, we need one more scene. I mean, these are test tools, so maybe we should... I don't know. Whatever, doesn't need to be great there. We're gonna go back down here, scenes, new folder. We're going to create a folder for entities, or entity test stuff. New scene. So creative. Now this is going to be a 3D scene that will have 2D elements in the interface. We'll also load up our characters. We will be able to play the animations in the characters, rotate the characters, etc. Entity player. I'm going to move some of these. File system, I want you over there. Okay. Scene and import, just because of the size of it. There. Give us a little bit more space. Come back here, go to the inspector. So if we select on the scene, this inspector here actually needs to be down there. Same with node. Node down there. And file system can go up and on the right. There we go. So now we select on our scene, click on this, choose this down here. See, where were we going? Scenes, entity. Oh, that's unsaved? There we go. Scenes, entity. Give that a save. Also, let's go back to our project settings, general. The very top level. Run is not going to be the biome tool anymore. It will be the menu. So if we run the project, there. That's what it looks like. So now if we click on, let's say, entity, it doesn't do anything. And neither does biome. Why not? No errors. File system. We want this to load. We definitely want this. Funny, all I want to do is see the rest of this text. Can I hover? 3.1%, 3.14% of sailors are pirates. That's a good one. All right. Interesting that it didn't do a thing. Project settings. We've got an auto load going. GD native. It's not in here. All right, how do we do that? Seems like there should be something. What am I missing? Why did the chicken cross the Mobius strip to get to the same side? Why did the chicken cross the road? The answer is trivial. It is left as an exercise for the reader. So I'm not sure why this isn't loading. Let's give this a save. Oh, what is a setup version control? Oh, no VCS add-ons are available. Oh, interesting. Can we say we want to search for Git? Oh. Interesting. Okay. Not gonna do that. How are you today, Museum? How do I close the asset lib? Oh, right there. So I'm surprised that the GD native doesn't have a way for us to load elements into it. And I'm wondering whether or not this is an issue because well, I was going to say because it's not high enough in the tree. That doesn't quite make sense. I mean, perhaps these are not at the right space? Copy that. That looks about right. Yeah, that exists. We have this loaded, which then points to the GD native. Project, I'm going to quit to the project list and reload that. It's still called Biome Tool, it's fine. So we're going to quit and go to the other project. This one here, Legacy. Project settings, GD native. Okay, it's not in there either. That's fine then. Gonna go back here, back to the biome tool. And bouncing around a lot. It did not update. Let me fix that. There. Oh. We didn't wire it up. Of course. So when that's pressed, connect. Going to connect to self. I wonder if there's a better way to do that then. I mean, when it gets set up, we could just wire that. For now, we'll just do this. Change scene on that. Back here. Let's double check this one. Okay. And then if we run it and click the button, there it goes. It changed the scene. Yay. Okay. I'm guessing that didn't actually show, did it? There. We click. Takes it a moment, but there we go. There's the other editor. Okay. Gonna close that. Turn that off for a bit. And Sedler, good morning. It's going well, thank you. So we're going to go back in here, going to go into entity, well I guess not that entity. Scenes, entity, entity. Should be blank? Yes, perfect. Now our biome scene, see what did we do here? I probably want to do something similar. Oh, that's right. We had a camera base and a camera. And we ended up doing it this way because it's easier to move the camera in this scene than to rotate the target. I don't think I want to rotate the camera anymore. Well, at least for the next scene, the entity one. That and I want to rename it. I like having more descriptive names up here at the top. Rename. Entity player. There we go. And that should have been updated automatically over here in the inspector. It wasn't. Okay. Now we need something that the entity can sit on. So we're just just want some sort of plane. Scene, entity player. Technically it's a grid. Do they call it a mesh? Grid map, grid container, no. Try again. And it's going to be spatial. Not going to be enjoined, no. That's odd. Where's the rest of it? Camera. I feel like there's quite a bit from spatial that's missing here. Did the search not get cleared properly? No, it's not in there. Visibility notifier? Nope. There we go. So we could just create some giant cylinder for it to sit on, or we could make something in Blender. I'm okay with it just being like a sprite 3D. Let's do that. Texture. We're gonna give it a new texture. It's not going to be a mesh texture, an image one. It'll be probably just a mesh texture. Plain mesh. I mean, that's so strange here. Okay, let's try again. In here, visual instance, geometry instance. Okay, let's give it, say this is a mesh instance. Instead, let's get rid of this one. Mesh. You are a plain mesh. There we go, much better. Yeah, we could scale it up, we could make it huge. Or large enough. There. Gigantic. Now we have a ground. That wasn't that hard. Let's do a visual shader for fun. Whoops. Zoom in left, right, up, down. Trying to use like Blender keys on that. It's not working. Alright, output. We want zoom in a touch. Color. I guess this could be a variable. Color constant. Let's go in here somewhere. Maybe green. There we go. Roughness, let's say it's also constant. Oh, those are actual consts, variables. Not reflective at all. Alright. Give that a save before Godot crashes. Okay, so we have our entity player. Set up our camera in the scene. Where's our gizmos? Gizmos. Perspective, let's go. You're from the front. I see, so in this case, X is left, right. That's the same in Blender. Okay, but in this case, Y is up, down. Okay, we'll pull that back, touch. It's our camera. Oh, interesting. Oh, I didn't know you could change that there. That's cool. We'll rotate this down a touch. Yeah, preview. It's just a horizon. That's fine. Okay, now we want to load. Probably some sort of character inside of there, but we will also want. So I'm going to go back into the biome tool. Look at the file dialog here. So we need another one of these. Just going to copy that. Oh, can we not copy? Control C. Oh. Alright, so there's our file dialog. Now, there were some settings in here. Mode, open file, file system, and a filter. Yes. Open file, file system. You can use merge from scene. Oh, what is this? Merge from scene. Oh, thank you, Jummit. Oh, that's neat. That is great. Thank you. All right. let's go back in here. We've got that, that, and that. We also need to have, let's make that visible for a minute. All right, and we don't want this to be startup PNG. What do we want this to be? Ooh, that's a good question. What do we want the filter type to be? I don't know if Godot can load GLTF2 at runtime. Probably can. So what was that other thing called? Was it GLB? Looks like GLBs. How large are the GLBs? They're not super big. Do I need to load meshes at runtime? Maybe. Well, this here that we're working on is going to be a tool for inspecting the meshes, watching them play animations, things like that, so you could check to make sure that everything looks good inside of Godot that you're exporting from something else. So if you wanted to see like a tree shake, or you wanted to see like a death animation or a harvesting sort of animation, you can actually see that inside of here. And it's a lot easier than trying to find one of these elements in the game. So I imagine that part of this is actually going to be part of the tool, and then another part of it is going to become pieces of the game. Very likely the chunk of it that we say, please play this, right? Play the walk animation, play the attack animation, play the death animation. Right? The thing that's controlling the mesh is going to be part of the game. Then I really wouldn't mind part of this that is challenging is where we go to, let's say, export this. So if you go to export, the texture formats here are specific to kind of like the I don't know how to describe this. So if you're using OpenGL on a specific sort of Android device, you might want to use like ETC2 or ETC. If you're using, I don't know what DirectX is going to use, probably like this S3 TC, I'm guessing. But outside of the textures, I don't know how it's going to store GLB stuff. If it can load it at runtime and it's small enough, I'm probably okay. Just the character though is like a quarter of a meg. If we zip that, I don't actually want to compress it yet. Oh wow, that's 30K? That'd be okay. So let's see if we can load that. Then we would just have to worry about the textures that we're applying, making sure that we're downloading the right ones. But yeah, all of this Gemma is going to be loaded at runtime. Just have to find the right type. Ones that have much slower decompression time. Oh, much lower decompression time. I see. I imagine that the way it would work is you go into a zone, you check to see what assets you need, and then you start to download them. After they're downloaded, you decompress them. So I'm not too concerned about the decompression time, because it's likely going to be done um, once per object. Hmm. Oh, that TC is texture compression. I see. All right, so if we can load that. I wonder how we would load that. Probably resource importer, resource loader. All right. It uses the mini resource loader format classes registered in the engine. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you could use load most of the time, but otherwise use resource loader. I forget where you can register those. You can also extend editor import plugin. For example, it's better to import PNG textures as STEX first, so they can be loaded with better efficiency on the graphics card. All right, well, let's see. Let's go back here. So on that, what's a signal this was? Oh, we also added a script and then did some other things here. That's right. Where's our script in this case? On open, yeah, we read the file, load it into the image. Hmm. Okay, we're gonna clear that one. Add a new one. Interesting. So if we did this via Rust, we could actually pull in some other stuff. I'm not sure what's going to be available to us at runtime versus kind of build time. So if we come back to Godot, let's say cancel on that, come back to the help. Which elements are not included? Go to the help again. Clear it all. Maybe the editor stuff? Does it say? Ah, restart to update Firefox. Okay. Restarting it. Interesting. Seems to work if I make sure the corresponding .import file is generated ahead of time. According to the docs, yep. Alright, well, we'll see what happens. There's that. Thank you. I gotta adjust the heater. Be right back. Alright. let's try it out. Let's just try and load one of these files. And if we need to, we will convert this. All right, we're gonna take to about there. Get rid of those, this. Oops, need that top a little bit. And we need some sort of button. For this one, I think I want buttons along the left and the right side because there's going to be a number of them. So let's add a child. Rust Analyzer added the ability to go to the actual documentation for an item. Ooh, that is cool. Alright. Gonna set the anchors. Alignment begin, yes, that's fine. Ah, actually I wanted this anchor here. Right is 0.25. Yeah, that should be alright. Alright, so now we have our VBox container. We can toss a canvas. Oh, actually, we probably want that inside of a canvas, don't we? Reparent to new node. Ah, control? But it was canvas. Panel container. Alright. Anchor, right, 0.25. 1. There we go. VBox container. Oh, it is full size already. My mistake. Open docs under cursor. Let's check. Is it a code action? Or do I have to open the docs first and then code action? That one doesn't seem to be there. Oh, the option type. See the modular documentation for more. It's more like a jump go to. Oh, I see. Hey JT, how's it going? You bounded to Shift F1? Yeah, that does make sense. I'll have to look that up. Alright. So here we go. Let's add some buttons to this. Let's just have a load button. Box container. Let's call this left panel, left pane. Button. Load. Text. Load entity. It's under core UI theme. There we go. Okay, so when this gets clicked, pressed, add that to there. It would be nice if I could see what this had on it and just choose. Because now I have to know exactly what the function name was. Cancel. What was it? It was on open. Gonna get rid of that because we don't need that. It's an experimental extension to LSP. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm doing alright, JT. Trying to get a little bit of the loader working. Alright, so if we have that, we get to this point, we have some sort of array as a buffer. Then we are going to look up resource loader again. Interesting, there's this one and this one. That's a property. I wonder if that's how they do globals. Alright, we can call load. And what is this load interactive? Oh, interesting. So you can pull it and give it time to continue loading. Wow. What else is it? Cache. Well, let's just try calling load on it. Give it the path. Oh, actually, that was a path, not a. Can we not give it the bytes? Looks like we have to save it. Interesting. So there's this get recognized extensions. We'll just try the resource loader load. Also, we don't have to do any of this. File name. Var results. Ah. Who knows? Let's just set a breakpoint here. Let's give it a run. Entity. Okay. I have our little world there. Click on that. I'm gonna go up a directory to our character prototype tool. I'm gonna load this one and see what happens. Ah, errors. Or load interactive. Loading resource. Condition found is true. Alright, and result is null. That's too bad. And why does it say I can't open that file? Yeah, and this is what we were seeing on the on that website. That saying, hey, it needs the import file. Alright, let's make this work. So, let's see. And we could probably bundle this stuff. So just for fun, let's see if I go to probably convert that thing to a scene and export the scene or something. Export the project. And maybe we have to do that for these, so that some sort of resource that it knows how to load at runtime and wouldn't need the .import. Now let's go back into the file system, because I know that there's things that that it can load. All right, and what was the other one loading? So this one here, yeah, we call load PNG from blah blah blah. So config files can load environment, GD native library, load once, image, shape 2D, stream texture. That's neat. Editor stuff. What about a mesh instance? Project settings. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in here if you just do load. Because it's more than just the mesh we want to load. We want to load the animations. It's a whole scene. All right, so let's cancel this. Command line tutorial. So you can run Godot. I want to make this easy for people to run though. So let's say, how do we do that? We would end up having some sort of UI piece that could load the GLTF, the GLTF2 file, run a script. I mean, this here that I'm looking at is probably just oh, that's interesting. Atlas 3D, good morning. Good morning. So I want to be able to take that character file, that entity, right? And entities for me are anything that has that isn't static in the world. I'm thinking entity component framework. I know that's something, whatever. So we want to be able to automatically take one of these, load it up into a scene, and then export that so that it can be loaded later. Rust the game? No. Well, Rust as in the programming language. Good question, Alex. Good question. So we're actually using the Godot game engine, and let's see. organization, customizing the build. So I think we could probably parameterize some of this. So let's say we did open something. I'm gonna go back to project. I'm gonna quit to the project list for a bit. Yes. Go back into the character prototype, which had a whole bunch of, I don't know, it just has a bunch of stuff in it, right? It's where we were trying to import elements here, like character glib. And if we double click on that, we can create a new inherited scene. We could save this to character.tscn. Overwrite file, sure, whatever. There's our little character. And if we go to character tscn, oh, we're in it. But look at the scene. It's a number of elements in here. It's got the animation player. So that GLB file ended up creating quite a bit for us. Technically, we don't want the light, we don't want the camera. So those elements there, and I wouldn't want to reorganize them. Just like so. We have our armature, we've got our attachment points for hats, etc. So technically we would want to take something like this and export it. Oh, thank you, Museum. There. Alright. So yes, this down here, character GLB, you double click on that and create a new one. You can say, oh, I wanted a new inherited one. And save it. I'll give that an overwrite. No. And that builds this out. And we have an animation player. Got a bunch of little elements here. So this GLB file, when it imported it, became quite a bit different. Interesting. Materials, mesh or location. We got a scene, just says character, okay. Root scale 2. So if we could do something where we take that and then we export just that piece so that Godot can then load this up later. How would we do this? Is there anything in here? New resource, etc. Probably not there. Convert to. Mesh library or tile set, probably not those. Oh, it only shows a noise Rustock? Really? Oh, I see. Thank you, I fixed that too. Character TSN is file itself. Yeah, I want to build a game that can load these things at runtime though, like zones or other types of assets. So if I just pick one of these, like Mac OS, and I say, oh, I only want selected scenes and dependencies, and then we chose about character glib. No, not that one. That's not a scene. This one. Well, that's interesting that can it just do that? Can we do that? And then if we export the ECK zip, What does that give us? Okay, character prototype, create a new folder, delete me. Just save that in there. Oh, .zip. I don't know what the PCK is going to be in. That's a Mac thing, isn't it? Alright, now we only selected the GLB file. It said only export that and the elements that it needs. Is this? Aww. Let's see what's going on. Bye-bye, Godot. Wow, it's been having a hard time today. Yeah, that was pretty impressive how slow that unwound. I wonder why. When I build a game, there is exe plus PCK instead of all resources. Okay. Oh, you can load the PCK stuff at runtime. So probably PCK, such as TSCN, are suitable for import. At runtime. Alright, now, of course, this thing is it's having issues again. There. Let's try this again, this time with the character.tscn file. Project settings. And we'll export this. Looks like it didn't make it very far. PCK. Just gonna close that so we get those settings saved. Alright. Alright. Okay, we'll remove that one. So it did the PCK file. It doesn't say that it's a zip. Huh, interesting. I think what we see here is enough. I'm surprised that it's pulling in stuff like the ordering environment stuff. Like, there's a lot more in there than I thought there would be. All right, but if we can load that, that's really what I care about. We can always clean that up in a bit. If we came in here and seen, okay, so we did have, yeah, this scene is probably referring to the default environment and stuff like that. Just fine. Okay. But we could probably automate the creation of these entities from that format. Let's see if we can load that. I have to go back to the project list. Oh, I see. Hmm. Yeah, what was the size of that file? 9K? Oh. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Alex. Gonna go back to the project manager. Go back to our quote-unquote biome tool, which is a little bit of a misnomer now. Right. Now I fix Godot. Okay. So let's go back into the other scene. Scenes, entity. All right. Oh, what was it? It was PCK? Yeah, PCK. Just run it again. It's just a series of MD5 checksums plus a binary blob per file. Wow, okay. Character prototype, delete me. We're going to try this. And let's make sure. Oh, and there you go. Now you can see what's going on. So I navigated to the file. Here we're going to click open. Now we got 2 errors. No loader found for resource. I remember having figured this out before. I'm trying to remember what I did. What do we have in here? I think it was a different project. Ah, legacy entities. Where is this? right. Entities. Huh. I don't know. Load resource pack? Oh, interesting. Why is this on project settings? Oops. Come on. Where is it? There we go. Interesting. Thank you, Alex. Load resource pack. I see, and that's why resource files does that. Load resource pack. But that's on a very strange. It's on project settings. Anybody else find that odd for this to be on project settings? Contains global variables accessible from everywhere. Properties. Oh wow, it's got a lot of properties. Methods. Globalized path, interesting. Localized path. This load resource pack just feels like they didn't have a good place to put it. All right. Let's try it again. Go into the entity, load entity. There? Oh, it didn't do it. There. Result is true. I see. So then we can go into remote and here's local. let's keep going with that. Now, I'm not seeing it loaded into the root. I guess now we could instantiate, let's say, the character or something else that was in there. I see. Interesting. So we do this first to load, basically create those into the PCK files, which aren't very crazy. I'd still have to figure out how to do the textures because we're either going to have to create a PCK per type or basically embed all the different textures. C nodes are prepared for runtime resources, while a file system is overall project resources. File system tab. Project. Open data folder. Hey, Madhouse Steve, how are ya? So we have this project settings, okay. And then the load resource. Now, because we don't know what came in from this, if we look at the documentation on this load resource pack, it says it's going to just drop stuff into the resource file system, and it'll return true on success. So once that's done, we should be able to then call resource loader load and a path to one of those elements that it loaded into the file system. Well, it's resource file system. Yes, it is Friday. We're gonna get snow. I am not ready for snow. Just not ready for snow. So. Property can't revert. Okay. Yeah, we were looking at that stuff. It is interesting too that this didn't change. The file system, the res : / it must be the, I guess, the runtime res file system. I don't see anything else that we can do with this. No, no. Nothing there. Editor? I mean, how can you see what res : / sees at runtime? I guess, how can we see that in debug time? Alright, anyhow. Don't I load self as name? Here, if we go back, open project manager, yes. Let's go back to the other one. Back to the, what was I calling it? The character prototype. Let's see what actually got exported, because it was just that scene. Godot app. Need to turn some of that off. Okay. And fix this again. is we were looking at character.tscn. This is all that got exported. So I'm expecting that. Is it the scene that got loaded? That got put in there? Or is it the contents of the scene that gets loaded? So if we rename that, let's say, where were we here? Move OEO to, say we had some sort of naming convention, right? All right. And we'll pretend that it makes available this scene. So we're just going to load this scene on top of the current scene. Go back to the project list. Character biome tool. And we fixed this again. Okay. Okay, upper right. There we go. Go back into scenes, entity. So after that, sure, we'll go ahead and do the print there. That's fine. Now, var foo or something. Load. Now we give it a path, and this would be res : / / That way we give it something like character TSCN. So first we load that resource. I'm just going to click through. I'm not going to set that thing up. In the delete me. Okay, selecting character.pck. We're going to open that. Result is true. Alright, so that's true. We're going to step over this. Here, resource loader. We got 5 errors. Okay, so we got nothing back. Resource file not found. Character.glb. Interesting. I thought that we had done that correctly. Did we not tell it to export the selected scene in all connected resources? Let's go back over to the character prototype. This one? Okay. So we had been inside of project settings, we were exporting here, resources, export selected scenes, and dependencies. That's what we had selected. And then we checked character.tscn, which seems like it should have pulled in all of that stuff that it wanted. It's runnable as false. We don't need it to be runnable. Yes, we'll overwrite that. Why don't I use the TSCN itself? I want to load it at runtime. I do not want to have a gigabyte download when people might only need 10 megs. So depending on the part of the universe that you end up in, you should be able to download just those assets. Alright, so we did that. Coming back here, character prototype. Godot. Biome tool. No, not that one. This one. And it was telling us that it couldn't find character.glb. Guess was character.glb actually exported? That's something we'd look at. External resource. Aww. I see. So we would have to choose that. I mean, it looks like it pulled in a lot of the stuff that it needs. Hmm. I'm looking at some of the stuff I had before. Yeah, I think I just need to actually include a little bit more. Come over here again. I'm gonna go back to the exporter. Character prototype. Wrong one. Oh, no, that's the right one for you, but not for me. There. Because I think what I had ended up doing was having some sort of master scene or something. And this is way too constrained. There we go. So if we select both of those, then this should work. But then do we need, I mean, the GLB? We kind of did that one before. Let's just do the GLB. Okay. Save, overwrite, sure. That was quick. Alright, coming back into here. The other one, biome tool. Too many Godot things. Let's give that a restart. Ah, and I don't know. GLB. Because if we can load that as a resource, right. If I want to look into what that PCK contains, but it was fairly obvious just looking in the. I mean, it was. I don't know. I just don't feel like installing another tool at the moment. All right, no errors yet. Result is true. Okay. Step over. 7 errors. I see. It's saying that it had some sort of material. Just gonna see if I can project export that with it. Actually, there is no material. Oh, there is, but it's project X. Okay. I'm going to change it to export selected resources and dependencies. And try again. Change that, overwrite. Okay, now let's just run it again. Restart. All right. I'm going to select that material as well. Just a Python script. Yeah, I don't really want to download it. But thank you. Only 1 error that time. Building a modified time for that. Okay. That seems fine. And we have a something. And what is our something? It's an object. It's a packed scene. Oh. Wasn't there another one? Packed data container. Packet peer. abstraction of a serialized scene. Oh, thank you, Alex. Copy link location. Let's try this. I see. Use cases. Downloadable content, yes. Patches. That's really neat. I hadn't considered this, but this is really neat because it allows you to overwrite what's already there. That's cool. That's really cool. Mod support, that's cool. Generating PCK files. This is pretty amazing. Thank you for this link. This is really cool. Music, sound effects, textures. In order to hack all resources of a project into a PCK file, if the output file ends with PCK or a zip extension, then the export process will build that type of file for the chosen platform. Oh, I see. Note. Or the developer uses Godot to build a GUI tool for adding their exact API contents to the project. Tools enabled build of the Godot engine, or have access to one. Wow, this is really powerful. Okay. Next. Oh, feature tags. Let's go back. All right. Sugar. It's snowing. I grew up in a place where occasionally you would have ash falling from the sky due to like wildfires, and occasionally I will look outside and see snow and think of the ash. All right. It's okay. I want to run that again one more time. So at this point, we get the result. Good. Step over that, we get a something. Or something as an object ID. It's a packed scene. So if we wanted to instantiate that, so that just loads it. Now at the next point, I'm going to call load, which is the global load function, which is nearly the same as this resource loader.load. In fact, I thought these were, the load one wasn't as powerful. Like this one, you could actually say, don't overwrite stuff. I want to see this one again. All right, so we want to do our load resource pack. We want to say false. Or was it? You know what? True, I think would be fine. True. So if we look and see that we don't have this thing in our local system, then we fetch it, unpack it. No, not that one. That one. Because we have load and load interactive. And in this case, yeah, we could use load interactive to have a little bit more like a spinning progress bar. We don't want to lock up the UI thread. So then if we had something here, and this is a bundled. Well, let's take a look. What is this? Ooh, lots of things in there. Yes. Light, spatial armature, etc. Of course. Let's say I wanted to load one of these and add a script to it. So I want to add load character. I guess if that's a scene, I should be able to add a script to it. Copy link location. Oh yeah, maybe. What is this Godot packed as a flat pack? Oh, is this for loading things quickly on Android? Oh no, this is just some other. Oh, this is interesting. That is convenient. Oh, the res and as mentioned in the command line tutorial, Godot considers that a project exists in any given folder that contains a project.godot text file. Accessing project files can be done by opening any path with res:// as a base. Okay. User paths. While the project is running, it is a common scenario. The resource path will be read-only, due to being inside of a package, so contained executable or system-wide install location. Storing persistent files in such scenarios should be done by using the user:// prefix. Okay. On some devices, for example, mobile and console, this path is unique to a project. I love how they like talk about consoles occasionally, but like a lot of it is locked away behind like NDAs and stuff. I would love to be able to see how you get something like this on like a PS4. Editor data paths, yes. Okay, so that makes sense. I like the self-contained mode. That sounds pretty neat. All right, so if we go back to, so it sounds like we need some tool that can take an entity and package it up. Right, we want to take a GLB file and convert that into a PCK file. some Godot script that knows how to create PCK files, etc. So we have resource. What is this one? That is not helpful. And what is a packed data container? Okay. Looks like you can set data and then pack it, whatever that means. Packed scene. Resource saver. It uses the many resource format saver classes registered in the engine. They're built in or from a plugin to save the engine specific resources data to a text-based or binary-based. Okay. Okay, so let's say that we were going through the pipeline and we wanted to create our character animation, right? Like we've got our character, it's in Blender, it's got some animations associated with it. We need to make that into something that can be loaded at runtime. So let's build out that pipeline. Oh, there's snow still. It didn't go away yet. Just sitting here looking at the snow. Now let's go back to the browser. I think that last one that you gave us here, this is really nice. It seems like we should be able to create a project that can build these. All right, where's the export? Editor export plugin. So we can add files to it. Interesting, all the iOS stuff. It's interesting. Begin, end, and file. So let's say we had a directory that was just full of, say, GLB files, and we wanted to export those into PCK files. I wonder if we could use this. All right, where is it? Opening PCK files at runtime. Yeah, so what is the difference between these? Smaller size, but slower to read and write. And this is where we were. So I imagine I could have done the same thing with a zip file instead. Let me try that. Just rename it .zip. Okay, let's go back into the editor here and give it a rerun. Entity, load entity. All files, zip, open. Step. Result is true, good. One error. And something, oh I see. And it's still resource loader. Oh, patch scene, excuse me. Okay, that's reasonable. And if we look at the difference, wow, that's quite a difference. So if people are going to be downloading these at runtime, probably use a zip as it's going to be faster to download. So let's say we have something that is specific to entities. Am I going to want to package sounds with these? Ooh. Oh, that's a tough one. Yes, we will probably want to have something that can associate sounds with points and animations. Oh, that's... How do we do that? let's say we had this. We have our scene. We've got the animation player. Here, can I play sounds using the animation player? Oh, add track and audio track? Totally possible. I create an animation with text being typed out accompanied by a keyboard sound. Add track. Audio playback track. Audio tracks can only point to nodes of type audio stream player. Oh, I see. So we need the audio stream player on this as well. Okay, this makes more sense. So after you create something in Blender, you pull it in here. I'm going to create a kind of standalone element, following some of the instructions that I had written down forever ago. Let's see, it says.
And now it's just like, man, you got to have that time where you just like disconnect from the scene, just the race, like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, you know. But you have to step.
I think about this a little more. Okay. Where does this actually exist from? That's too far. CD source. Should users be possible to create their own assets or just import pre-prepared in the project? I think I would like to encourage modding. I could see using like texture packs and stuff like that, because that could be pretty cool. Some of the stuff is going to be difficult for users to mod though, because some of this is procedurally generated. And well, it's multiplayer, so you're going to be tossed into a game engine, a game where others might not have the same mods as you. So the mods are going to be limited in that sense. It's going to kind of affect your own experience. I can absolutely see that you might be able to mod your own island, and we might be able to have situations where somebody could create a mod that affects their own island, and then anybody that goes to that island could experience that mod. Yeah, that's interesting all on its own. and that gets into scripting using not GD script or some other script. Excuse me, not GD, not like Lua, but I don't know, maybe we could use like Moon or something. Because it would have to run on the server. And I know I could use Lua. I just... All right. Ah, I did have it. I didn't move it though. Okay. Move. Legacy entities to Rust. Move. Legacy docs to Rust. All right. Then we got some really old stuff. GLTF models for Mass Effects. I really like the idea of being able to mod islands. And well, I call them islands, but they're zones in the world. And what you got me thinking through at the moment is, what would we do if we wanted each island to basically have its own set of resources? There's going to be a kind of ever-growing set of things that can be in the world. So I don't want to have like one PCK for a zone, because you just constantly keep downloading the same thing over and over again. If we added like a toaster and then like the 4-slot toaster or the 6-slot toaster, you would have to download the whole thing again instead of just the toaster.pck. It's interesting though. I like the idea. I really like the idea. All right. Because I had something like this. Pull that. I had made an example, and then one of my kids created a pine tree according to the documentation I had written. So if we were going to do this according to the documentation, I'm going to read the documentation. Actually, it's in here. Cat readme. Going to click create a new project. I'm going to do that in Godot. Project quit project list. All right, new project. Click on the browse button. Go to a specific location. Okay. Source Rust. Legacy entities. All right. Now we click on the create folder button. Good. What are we going to call this? We're going to call it, well, this is kind of a weird entity. I'm going to call it Chibi. select it. Okay. Hit OK. It automatically does that for me. Select current folder. Change the project name to match. Oh, I see. Should be lowercase. Select OpenGLES2. I don't know why I said that. I think it was for lower end devices, but I don't know if it actually matters for this. So create and edit. All right. And then create a new folder called entities. Oh, you know what? I can pull this into Godot here. All right. This one, all right. So we do that, and the next thing said entities, create entities. Down here, new folder. Create a 3D scene inside of entities, the same name as the project. Okay, new scene, GB, 3D scene. Rename the root from spatial to something else. All right, GB. Hit save. All right, so now we have entities/gb.tscn. And at this point, we should be able to take our GB. That was in legacy character prototype character.glb to GB entities GB GLB. All right, so now we have this. We've got that. I don't understand why we have material here. All right, now in this case, I'm just going to open that, create a new inherited one, and I'm going to save it as GB here. Yeah, we're going to replace it. Overwrite, yes. Low poly town, we called it. Yes. Yeah, overwrite that. Okay, so now we have a scene that extends from that. This material, who's using this? View owners. Okay, GB.glb. If we look at the inspector here, or the GLB, what is it that's using that? I mean, I don't mind having the material there as long as it's not taking up a ton of space. But once we do this, then we have to also create some other elements, don't we? Well, that's interesting. So if I try to edit the GLB in here, which, okay, I'm actually going to edit it in Blender and remove some of these extra pieces that I don't want in there. Where's Blender? Oh, I don't have Blender open. Oh, black screen there. Blender, Blender. Come on, Blender. Odd. It's not showing up in the list. Let me try again. Ah, there it is. It's too quick. Entities, GB entities. Why can you not open that? I know it's not a .blend file. It's an interesting question, though. How do we want to organize these? Because we could have this move over. Godot parsing GL file, pulling out resources and prepares it to be TSCN native form. Yeah, I think there's scripts I need to attach. I need to modify that structure at runtime to give it an audio track, or actually inside of Blender, not Blender, inside of Godot. In here I have to be able to add an audio track to this. Because if I come in here and I say, oh, you know what, I'm going to open anyways, and then delete a couple of these, delete those nodes, and then I try to save it, it says, I don't know how, right? It's got this, I don't know what to do with that. So I have to treat the format kind of as read-only. I mean, maybe in the importer. So if I click on this, storage, instanced subscenes. I mean, maybe going through this and changing these. Oh, FPS should be 30. So here, let me close some of these. Save and close that. This one I don't think I can. Don't save that. So if I come back. See, I can come in here, but I can't like get rid of these. Delete node. And I mean, it does mostly like import it. It's so close. Storage. Let's say instanced subscenes and do a re-import. Okay, what does that do? Oh, look at that. We have a lot of stuff in here now. So we have armature, we have animation player. And if we come into this armature scene, okay, that's not so bad. Animation player. How does it know what it's affecting? I see. So now we have this, and we can delete this. Yes. No, it still doesn't know how. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get the importing and setup in such a way that the TSCN file here, let's go ahead and delete that, so that works. So let's not save that. Close some of these, don't save. Okay, close, close. We can create a new inherited scene from it. We can save that, Chibi TSCN. Now if we go into Chibi TSCN, oh, you know what we might be able to now because we imported these as separate scenes. Delete nodes. Not operate on, oh, it's because this thing's, GLB DLTFR mediator between Blender and Godot. I see. So if I wanted to do this a different way, I could create my own Chibi TSCN and pull in the pieces I wanted. So we delete that, remove that. Going to close that, don't save. Let's just in here create, new scene. Okay, it's a 3D scene. GB. And we're gonna toss the armature, that and that inside of there. As a child of this. Okay. So we could do that. All right, and that still works. Can we then remove these? Delete. But then we could have our chibi.tscn file that we want to be selective about. Then we can also add the audio stream player positionally. And then in the animation player, we could add a track, maybe. Let's try this out. Animation playback track. Okay. Audio. Okay. Can only point. Animation tracks can only point to animation player nodes. What? What? Oh, audio playback track. Audio. Okay, that I had selected the wrong thing. Now, can we save this? Looks like we can save that. This animation player, which is a separate scene, is modifiable by us? That's strange. But the others aren't. Okay. Strange. That my network is gone. What's going on with the network? Let's check it out. It's loading. I'm guessing it's the precipitation in the air. Well, all right, well, where were we? We were back over here in Chibi. There. And now we have this audio element, which we could position. Make it look like it's coming from this thing. All right. So we do that, and we could then add the audio elements to this. Now I wonder if we change the animation, if that's going to blow this away. I mean, maybe we should have two animation players, one for this and one for the audio. Try re-import GLB and play with import settings, such as container, inner separate files. That way, parts of the original GL could be stored in a single Godot entity. Okay, so let's look at that. Materials, okay. So at the top, we got spatial, pencil, that's fine. Root name, scene root, I don't care. Scale is 1, that's fine. Custom script, that's interesting. Storage, instance. Yeah, I'm changing it to instanced subscenes, broke it apart so we could create our own scene and pull elements into it, like the armature, the mesh guy there, and the animation player. Animation import, 30 FPS. Filter script, storage. Oh, I see. Built in. Optimizer. Okay. It looks like it might work. I'm going to save that and go over into Blender. So this file here, this character.blend. Open this. This is our character. This is our chibi. I'm going to just save as. Put this in that new location. Entities, chibi, entities. Sure, put it in there. We'll call it chibi. Oh, yes. Rename material in Blender to chibi match. Oh, thank you. That will make it much nicer. All right, so here we have this. Let's go back down to materials. There. Okay, so then we have this. We're going to just export it again. File, save, file, export, GLTF2. Oh, hold on. I do not want to include these elements, lights and cameras. Now, they were useful. See here, you have to include cameras. Hit cancel. I kind of want to delete those, but maybe just a different collection or a different scene. File export. Can we choose the scene instead? Yeah, it looks like we'd have to select what we wanted to export. Isn't quite what I want. Let's make a new collection. Collection new. Let's call it chibi. Move that up and out. Armature body. Go over there. And attachment points. Rolled versus chibi. So if I select. Oh, interesting. What does this checkbox do? Oh, it's just exclude or include. Okay. Let's try that. Selected objects. Maybe it worked. All right, so that got updated at 10 cents. Oh, I gotta get going. All right, let's go back into Godot. Now we've got our scene, we've got our import. Close everything. Close, don't save. Close, close. Well, should probably have looked at this one before we went too far. Okay, we still have audio here. Animation player does not have the audio track. Add track, audio playback track, audio. Okay, let's save that, close that. And we're going to go back to import chibi.glb. All right, that seems the same. Re-import. The material didn't change. I'd keep on re-import, so oh, that's interesting. I did select them, but if we let's go into chibi.glb and just open it anyways. It looks like it's here. Like everything's there. Okay, so something didn't work. Go back into Blender. And it feels weird to have to like select everything like that. I thought it was strange that the man was floating in midair, but then you saw the wire. So now he's suspending. All right. File, export, GLTF2. Entities, that is the correct. Why is this red? Yes, that. gb.glb. I don't know why that's red. Override existing. Oh, I see. Include selected objects. So I did check that before. Alright, LSLATR. Oh, wow. It is a bit different, isn't it? Okay, let's go back into Godot. Gonna close that. Don't save. Let's look at the re-import settings. Instanced. Okay. Let's hit re-import. The material name is the same. that should be different. That material there. Let's just delete it. Delete. Bye-bye. Oh, I see. So, but armature wants that. Hmm. Surface one. Ah, there it is. But it's called material. I don't know. Alright, we'll have to figure that out later. Well, thank you, Alex, for helping with this. Uncheck, preserve on re-import. Save on project, restart Godot. Oh, wow. Okay, so here, let's close the armature, animation player, etc. Well, there was something else we wanted to check. So if we re-import this, turn that off. Meshes. Re-import, okay. But if we come into GBTSCN, look at the scene, does this animation player still have the audio track? It does not. Okay, well, that answered that question. We basically have to have a separate animation set for audio, which is fine. You can have another like audio animation player and create audio tracks that then somebody could come in and set up. Okay. I'll have to figure that out because I don't want kind of to bake in audio to each one of these things. I would rather have some sort of like event emitted. Like, oh, you're playing this track and you got to this point. Emit a signal, do something like that, that then causes audio to play elsewhere. I think this should have an audio object there that we can then ask to play stuff, play tracks. All right. Well, that was fun. Yeah, the material should be imported as chibi.mat. I agree. I'm going to restart that project. Go to project list. Sure. Save and close. And thank you, Alex. Nice to meet you too. All right, take care. Okay, entities here, chibi GLB. Import. Yeah, it's still not doing it. Oh, that's so funny. Interesting. Okay. Well, we're gonna port as scene. Yes. Preset. Ooh. Oh, look at this. Import with separate objects, materials, and animations. Still not getting the chibi. Like, did I not save that in Blender? Look at body here. This is chibi material. What about this? Chibi front, chibi mat. Yeah, that's fine. I'll not save as. File, save. Follow, revert. Okay, that's gone. I'm just gonna delete these world stuff. Yeah, delete that hierarchy. Let's move these out. Oh, it needs to be in a collection. That's fine. File. Export. GLTF. GB. Blender crashed. Womp womp. Alright, I gotta get going, but we will raid somebody. I got any rustations out there? Acton Dev. We will raid Acton Dev. Oh, hey, Jefferonius, good morning. Oh, yes, 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 on Uraniwa stream. Oh, you're welcome. You dig the combo of Rust, Godot, and Blender? I like it too. It seems like they're all growing up well together. Yeah, popping in at the end of these streams. Also, I know that sometimes the notifications can go out slow from Twitch, so if you're interested, I also announce in a channel in Discord, which seems to be a little bit more reliable for people. Feel free to pop in there, or if you just have Rust questions in general, we go over those sometimes. Yeah, we were playing around with lifetimes earlier. Who was it? Who was it that was having some issue? Oh, Zenocron, that's right. That's right. Well, thank you for hanging out today. And until next time, y'all. Bye bye.